How to solve quadratic equations that have exponents of rational numbers. So the first thing that you do, you will want to make the exponents of x to be the same. So but now how do you do that? For example, we have 1 over 2 and 1 over 4. So we know that 1 over 2 is the same thing as 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4. Because now if you add this, remember if you have the same denominator, you can add the top. So this is just going to be 2 over 4. And then 2 over 4 is the same thing as 1 over 2. So this means we can write 1 over 2 as 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4. So that's the first thing that we do. We just change the exponents so that they are the same. So this 2 here can be written as 1 over 4. So that is what we do. So we are going to say now, okay, we have this x to the power of 1 over 2, but we want to write it as 1 over 4. So this is going to be 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4, which is the same thing as half. Nothing is changed. And therefore what we have is what is minus 7 x to the power of 1 over 4 plus 12 equal to 0. So now we can expand this and make it to be what? To be x to the power of 1 over 4 multiply by x to the power of 1 over 4, because now if you multiply the same basis, you add the exponent. So this will get you back there. And then we have minus 7 x to the power of 1 over 4 plus 12 being equal to 0. So now if you have the x with the exponents that are the same throughout, therefore you can just let that x to be k so that everything simplifies. So you're going to say what? We're going to say now let k to be equal x to the power of 1 over 4. And this is called a k method. So where you see now x to the power of 1 over 4, you are going to substitute the k. So now here is going to be what? It's going to be k multiplied by k, because we have x to the power of 1 over 4 multiplied by x to the power of 1. That means k multiplied by k. And therefore you have minus 7. X to the power of 1 over 4 can be written as k, so we have plus 12 equal to 0. And therefore this whole thing just simplified to be k squared minus 7k plus 12 equal to 0. So now we have now a quadratic that can be solved. So now how do we solve this kind of quadratic? Let me just write it up here so that we solve it nicely. We have k squared minus 7k plus 12 equal 0. So to solve this, we do what? We open two brackets. Because this is a quadratic, we can factorize and apply the zero factor law. So we say now, how can we write k squared? We can write k squared by saying k multiplied by k. And then secondly, we look at the factors of the last term. So the factors of 12 is 12 divided by 1, that's 1 and 12. And then 12 divided by 2. If you do 12 divided by 2, that's going to be what? It's going to be 2 and 6. And therefore 12 divided by 3, that's 3 and 4. So remember now, after you find the factors of the last term, you're going to look at the factors that when you add them, because the sign is positive here, they give you 7. So those factors that when you add them, they give you 7 is 4 and 3. So you're just going to put 4 and 3 there. And therefore, this sign, if it's positive, it means our signs are going to be the same. But now we'll take the sign of the middle term. So it's going to be negative, negative. And that is how we will factorize a trinomial. So now after factorizing, we are just solving for k, but we know that we are solving for x. But first we need to get what k is. So we are going to apply the zero factor law. So this will mean k minus 4 is equal to 0, or k minus 3 is equal to 0. So when we solve here, k is equal 4, or now k is equal to 3. But now remember, we have what? We have k as being equal x to the power of 1 over 4. So we are going to substitute k as what? As x to the power of 1 over 4, and therefore we equate it to 4. So now we are solving for x now. So but remember, when you solve for x here, we just multiply by the reciprocal of the exponent. So if we have 1 over 4, we multiply it by 4 over 1. And then we do that on both the sides. So this will make the x to be what? To be equal to 4 to the power of 4. 4 to the power of 4, if you put that in your calculator, you get 256. And therefore, you do the same thing for 3 here. So for 3, you're going to say, okay, we have what? X to the power of 1 over 4, sk, is equal to 3. But now you want to cancel out this exponent here. So you multiply by 4 over 1, which is the reciprocal, and then this cancels out. Then you have x, and then 3 to the power of 4, that's going to be 81. So that is how you will solve that first problem. So now you can pause the video and try to do the second problem. So now let us see now how to do the second problem. We are going to do the very same thing. So the first thing that we do, what do? We just check now if we can make this exponent to be the same. So if we have 1 over 3, 1 over 3 is the same thing as 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6. Because 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 is the same thing as 2 over 6, which is the same thing as 1 over 3. So we can change this to have what? To have the exponent of 1 over 6, which is the same throughout. So now that is the first step. So we're going to have x to the power of what? 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6. Then we have minus 6 and x to the power of 1 over 6 plus 8 equal to 0. So we already know that, okay, this is k times k is x to the power of 6 multiplied by x to the power of 6. So we're just going to let what? We're just going to let k to be equal to x to the power of 6. 1 over 6. So we're going to say, okay, let k to be equal x to the power of 1 over 6. So when we see 1 over 6, we're just going to put that as what? As k. So the first one here, this was just going to give us a k squared. We have already seen that on the first problem. So this is going to be k squared. And therefore we have what? Minus 6k. And then we have plus 8 equal to 0. So in this case, now we can just factorize. So how do we factorize? We open two brackets. Then after I open two brackets, we see how can we write k. So k can be written as k multiplied by k. And then we're going to look for the factors of the last term, 8. The factors of 8 is 1 and 8. Then 8 divided by 2, that's 2 and 4. So those are the only factors. But now we look for the factors when we add them, they give us 6. So now 2 and 4 will give us 6. So we're just going to put them 2 and 4. But now if this sign is positive, that means our signs are the same. So we're going to take the sign of the middle term. So it's going to be both negative like that. And that's equals to 0. So now when we are here, we can just solve for k. How do we solve for k? We're just going to say a k minus 2 is equals to 0. Or now k minus 4 is equal to 0. And therefore the k here will be equal to 2 when we transpose, or the k will be equal to 4. So but now we are looking for x. So we're going to say, okay, k is the same thing as x to the power of 1 over 6. So we're just going to put k as x to the power of 1 over 6, and then we do the same thing on the other part. But now what do you do here? Remember now you have the exponent as 1 over 6. We multiply with the reciprocal so that it cancels out, which is 6 over 1. And then what you do on your left, you do on your right. So now your x will just, exponent will cancel out, and then you have x of what? 2 to the power of 6, which is the same thing as 64. So your x will be 64, and then you're going to do the very same thing for that one here. You're going to say, okay, the k is what? Is x to the power of 1 over 6, and therefore we have 4. So you're going to multiply this with the reciprocal, which is 6 over 1, and then what you do on your left, you do on your right. So now this will cancel out. You have x, and then 4 to the power of 6 is just going to give us 4,906. So that will be the values of x. That is it for this video. Thank you very much.